When you search up Andy Warhol art on Google and look at the shopping tab, you are met with 4 very different numbers. First, there is a print. It is $18.95. Next, an original Warhol sold by Sotheby's. It is $120 million. Third, it doesn't say what it is. It is $836. Lastly, another print, poster. It is $60. It is pre-owned. These 4 pieces are not the only Warhols, prints or originals, up for sale. If you go to Redbubble, you can find over 1,000 pieces, referencing, reimagining, or downright taking Warhol's work. Warhol was a staunch anti-capitalist, believing that art is not something that should be made into commodity. Yet here we are, not only commodifying our own works as seen in places like Redbubble, where artists sell their own pieces for profit, but also commodifying his. Everything that is created, it seems, is made for profit, and that profit goes directly back to the corporations which fund our lives. What is a commodity? The Marxist definition of the word falls into 2 parts: use values and exchange values. For something to be a commodity, it must both serve a want or need of the human condition, as well as being able to be traded for money or another item of equivalent value. If either of these conditions are not met, the item is not a commodity. Nowadays, more than ever, artists and creatives are working to commodify their works, with things like commissions, platforms like Etsy and Redbubble, and financial support from social media becoming more and more popular ways of earning a living, or even just a side income, from one's art. When things become commodified, they also become objectified. These objectified products exist not as the product themselves, but rather as the idealized picture of what the product should be. These products can be anything which is commodified, including both the art and artist themselves. Many people struggle to understand artwork as a commodity. To some, the commodification of art is a direct antithesis to what they believe art should be. To others, it only goes to shock and offend them as it shatters the carefully crafted societal ideas they have built surrounding artwork. These ideas do not stop the artist from selling their work, as the artist, too, must eat. The artist must fund their livelihood. Many famous artists who are cited as being able to survive without commodification were able to do so because they were otherwise financially supported, either through familial financial support, inheritances, or directly from a patron. Nowadays, most artists do not have those luxuries. Few are able or have the desire to survive off their family. Fewer have access to an inheritance they can utilize, and fewer still have a true patron they can work with. The next best way a modern-day artist can make money off their work is through things like direct commissions, prints of their work, and posting on social media. Most modern-day artists must also be able to function as their own marketing team and must do so on social media in order to survive. While social media can lead to a large amount of eyes on one's art, it does not do so inherently, and those eyes do not necessitate sales. In order to create revenue in the current social media landscape, a creative must keep up. Social media works best when it is constantly showing something new and interesting while keeping that new close enough to the status quo to keep people engaged. An artist or creative in this landscape must then, too, constantly adapt and change, but not enough to isolate their audience. A creative must be able to return the quantity of product desired by those watching on social media, searching for immediate gratification, even if that means giving up on the parts of their process and morals. Social media further works to commodify artistry into something which is fast-paced, easily constructed, and without delay. It only separates the consumer from the creator, and thus the consumer from the product. No part of the modern world is built to support or uplift the artist. Instead, it is built to support the businesses which hold everything in place. Corporations which for nothing more than to get people to be monetized. Their time, their words, their works, all of it should be turned to profit. Even the human experience is something which can and should create money for the businesses. Shopping malls become third spaces, hobbies become side hustles, and every single part of our lives is filled with advertisements. This is not by mistake. This is the intended result of how the world is designed. As different aspects of the human experience are turned to profit, it brings people striving to experience it in different areas. By turning humanity into a commodity, it only turns into more profit. This is directly exploited in art. If the artist does not work with the machine of corporation, they cannot survive in the world built on business, so they must commodify and sell themselves as the product. This is not to say that commodification is an inherently evil practice. Quite the opposite, actually. Commodification is a type of survival. It is no more evil than a wolf hunting and killing its prey. Commodification should not be necessary for the artist. And even if it weren't, so many people would still choose to create a product anyway. While the world exists in the hands of businesses and billionaires working to turn a profit, the artist, the individual, still exists working to live and thrive. Artists will forever take commission. Artists will forever sell their work. And people will forever see the value in art, no matter how much the corporation does not see any inherent value in it. But everything is still an advertisement, and there is no escaping it. As the social media landscape continues to evolve, and in so the landscape artists find themselves in, there becomes more and more ways to commodify. I think about places like Fiverr, VGen, and Ko-fi. Places on the internet specifically built for creators to offer and sell their skills. I do not think these places are bad. If I did so, I would be a hypocrite. But I think that the existence of websites like these only goes to further the inherent objectification of artwork as something to be bought and sold, and something that only has value when it exists as a commodity. I and many other artists will often place the value of our work, the amount of views it garners, the amount of money it earns, the amount of people who it draws in. This is not the purpose of art. Art should be made for one's own joy, for one's own satisfaction. But acting like this solely, that is nothing short of delusional. My art does not make money unless other people view it as something worth their time. Artists do not make a living without being a commodity. Our worth and the worth of our passion and skill is nothing if we cannot get other people to see it as something. There's no real conclusion nor a solution for this. Art is commodified, and everything is an advertisement for that commodity, including this video. Background video for this was a commission piece I worked on. It was a $90 commission that took around 2 days to create. This video exists to share my thoughts on a topic I'm passionate and interested in, don't get me wrong, but it's also to tell people about my open commissions, to tell people to visit my Redbubble shop. It's here to tell people that I have membership tiers on my Ko-fi, which can get you discounts on my commissions. It's here to tell people to follow me on social media and, of course, like, comment, and subscribe. I had a lot of fun creating this video. This isn't the sort of topic I normally focus on while researching, since I am in college as a STEM program, and this falls staunchly in humanities. I still have a lot of thoughts on this topic, and I think video essays are a great way to spark discussion, and I would love to hear what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video essay style of video, I would love to make these in the future if people enjoy them. Bye-bye.